Welcome to a new episode of the Jessica's Music Talk Pod. Today it will be in English because I am very, very happy to receive a new band from Luxembourg. At least it's a new band for me because I didn't know them before. They sent me an email to the podcast page, and I'm so glad that they did it because they are really great. The band it's called the Sun Smash Palace. And yes, I want to thank all the people who support the podcast. I want to thank all the people who watched the previous interviews, who watched the interview with Just About the Musical Duo with John Mian, this with Next D. These were the ones from Luxembourg, and also to the people who watched also the Portuguese interviews. Last week I had a very very I had very special guests. I had a young band called the Quinces Band. They do like rock, old school rock music. They are from here, from Porto. They are very very young, and it's really nice what they do. And I want to thank all the people who watched it, who put a like. And don't forget, if you want to support the podcasts, the best way to support it is to like the video, to subscribe to the page, and to share the videos, share the podcast with all your friends, with all the people who like music, who like good music, who want to discover musicians, because I receive musicians, also musicians who are not famous, so newcomers, and people who sometimes don't have the opportunity to have interviews in other radios. I receive them in the podcast. So if you want to discover bands and musicians, and to know about their stories and what they do, share the podcast, like the videos. I also have the Instagram page, the Facebook page, and I thank all the people in advance who give all the support. And now I'm really really glad to introduce you, Raoul and Eric from Sun Smash Palace. Hello, how are you
Hello,
guys?
hello.
Hey,
Yes,
doing good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you that you sent me this email, because I went straight away to listen to your music, and it's great. I fell in love with the music directly. It's really, really nice what you do, and we will talk about the band. So, my usual question is always, how did the adventure begin? How did the band start? What is the story of the band?
um, I used to live in South Korea, and while I lived in South Korea, I wanted to keep making music, keep having a band because I had a band before, like Giovanante in Germany, and also another project. And yeah, found like a Brazilian bassist there, and another Korean on the guitar, and Cooper, a Canadian drummer. We played some music, played some shows, and then eventually, like, I wrote some songs. I wanted to record them, but then like when I recorded them, or when we recorded them, it was kind of that was the end of the time there, and then came to Luxembourg. So then ended up in Luxembourg with a fully produced album, and then was looking for some people to play music with, or like to who might be interested in playing those songs. And I found almost all of them at like one particular jam that actually never re happened, like happened again like this. It was like a very specific setup. It was not one of the typical jams. And for example, there was Axel from France, and he was his New Year's resolution to join a band. And Vita and Michele, who like listened to the music, liked it, and then very quickly like learned like a couple of the songs, like that were recorded, and then came up with new music very quickly after that. And then soon after, Raoul, aka Rabador, joined, uh, and yeah, and now it feels we're complete.
Okay, and so how many are you in the band exactly?
So in total, we are five. As Eric
Okay.
said, Eric, our singer-songwriter and also rhythmical guitarist from time to time, as the founder and start of the project. Then once he came back to Luxembourg and was looking for the new musicians, he found first Axel, our lead guitarist from France. And then, well, basically, as he just said, in the same session, he also met Vita and Michele. Vita, she's our bassist, and Michele is also our drummer. And both of them are an Italian couple, so that's quite handy. And then the latest addition to the team was me 2 summers ago, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, ever since we are working together on songs, rehearsing, trying to come up with new songs, because it's very interesting to see the inspirations that all of us have, because they are so different, because our backgrounds are all so different. So it ends up in a quite nice melting pot in our band, I think.
Okay, and how long does the band exist
Well,
exactly?
Eric, you founded in Korea in what, in 2019, 2020?
Actually, it was like founded in like 2019.
Mm.
And then
Okay.
like the first album was like in 2021, and that was also when, so in a way is more like as the way it is kind of now is maybe 21, but it was actually really founded, or like we're really, yeah, like a
So
sunset
Eric, you
palace.
are
Yeah,
a traveler.
idea. Say it again.
You are a traveler.
Yes, he's a
You
traveler.
travel from country to country.
I mean, not just traveling. I mean, I lived there, you know, then it's nicer. You stay for, I lived in South Korea for 2 years, for example. So you're integrated, you live there, and it's nice. And it was actually like a really good or like surprisingly big music scene, because it was really in there's a like one really like foreigner hotspot called EP10, and it's like this is where there's not so many foreigners, but all of them are there. So like as soon as you leave this district, you know, English doesn't get you very far, but in that district, like everything works.
Nice. And you, Raoul, you also you are very active in the music scene in
Yeah,
Luxembourg.
yeah.
You organize also other
Mm.
stuff. You play with a lot of musicians,
Yeah,
and yeah, so you are really doing a lot for the Luxembourgish music scene, and that's really, really great. So I'm sure the team is nice. So, and why the name? What is the story of the name, Sun Smash Palace?
that one's for
Why
Eric.
did you choose this name?
Um, I mean, the real story is that it was actually like I had a Brazilian bassist, Douglas, and when we were thinking about the name, he really enjoyed this. There was like a restaurant that was kind of, I guess, just had like a bit of a dodgy translation that was called Smash Palace, and like for some reason we thought it was hilarious. Like it sounds like, you know, you just like shovel a lot of food inside yourself. But I don't know, like, and somehow like that stuck with us for like some days. But then I think I realized there's actually a band from the 70s in Australia or so already that is called Smash Palace. And since the original concept for Sun Smash Palace was that it goes in then like indie surf and kind of like a more positive vibe indie rock direction, because there's a lot of like, you know, more emotional, the theatrical, and this was supposed to be a bit more uh beachy and more, yeah, like a kind of feel good music mostly. And yeah, so the addition of the sun just like made sense. There's also a lot of other bands like, whereas, yeah, that sound like this. And at some point I also realized I like this connection to even though that connection might not be very obvious, but to me it is like with I like Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, great.
And
Me too.
but when I have the idea of like Sun Smash Palace, you like I also see a bit of, you know, like a palace melting away or being like destroyed by the sun. So it's a bit less aggressive than, you know, the destruction of the machine, but there's still a bit of a deconstruction at least of something.
There is some science fiction story a little bit in there too. So
Tasty.
So, as I understood you, Eric, you are the author of the songs, of the lyrics.
Well, I was, I'd say. Now it's much more.
Okay. You
Oh.
so now you do team job. So
I think
how
over time it has like turned much more to that we like work on things together.
Mhm.
So it's really
But
it.
very often there's one idea that somebody comes forward with and
Mhm.
presents it. Like, for example, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, Eric was like, hey, look, I came up with this song. He sends us a recording of him playing by himself, guitar and singing. It's like, hey, what do you think of it? Is okay, let's check it out in the next rehearsal. So we took it to the next rehearsal. Then we started playing the basic idea how he recorded it and how he had it in mind. But then everybody started brainstorming. It's like, oh, hey, what if we do this with this part? Let's try it out. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, what if we take the drums away there and we try to change this part a little bit up like this? And then we were just going ahead and we ended up with well, I mean, we made quite some progress. It's not as similar as it was in the beginning. It had like quite some changes to it, but it starts to become more a Sun Smash thing. Like Eric's idea turned into Sun Smash project, and then we start molding it left and right until we think that it fits our sound. Because as I say again, we have such different inspirations, all of us. Like I come more from like a jazzy, hip hop orientated world. Eric, he's really the indie garage guy. Then we have Vita, which comes out of the dancing world, and she likes everything that has some rhythm to it. We have Michele in our group. He's like really into psychedelic and really heavy music. And then we have Axel that listens to a lot of funk. So it's like we all have different inspirations and
And it's not always easy. Like I think the question of like, there's no question of ownership or anything. It's not really important. It's
Mhm.
like we come up with something, it changes. Like maybe there's an original idea. I mean, like the latest song we were working on, like for me, it was mostly about like one chorus. And I think we took everything else and changed it. And the original chorus that I put was actually thrown away. And then like on the train right back, Vita showed me some like some lyrics she had wrote down, and like we tried, like we sang in the train just like a cappella, trying some stuff. I think at some point, I don't know. Uh I feel like the more we do it, the less we kind of stop knowing even like where does what come
mm,
from, or like who had which idea. It's just like,
also to us, it's not important to be like,
yeah.
hey, this is like my song. No, it's all
Mhm.
Sun Smash
Yeah, I
music.
understand.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's really a team job, and
yeah.
your influences does a great cocktail. So now I understand why I liked the song so much. it's a
I
it's
also
a
liked it
very nice
uh,
cocktail.
when we got
And
some. Oh, sorry.
about the topics, what inspires you guys when you write the songs? Uh, is there some messages sometimes you want to transmit to the public outside that is important for you? What are the topics that really have a meaning for you guys when you write songs?
So you talking
That's
more like on a lyrical side now?
Yes.
Like, um, I think it's a mixture of like things I'm just like concerned in the moment, or like I think I'm a very nostalgic person. So I kind
stories
of
you want to
like
share. Yeah, for sure.
things I kind of, I miss or I look back to, or try to express certain emotions. And like and also I studied philosophy, so I feel like
Oh, great.
either a mix of just like, I don't know, like whatever I read, whatever concerns me. And like if I go through the songs, I could probably like tell for each song kind of what's like an important connection. But yeah, so for like I'll take maybe two examples. So for example, from the first album, like Beats of Salt Water, I like this idea. There was uh like when you have a very good moment, and you have something that's like super, you feel like it's an amazing moment. Like let's say you meet someone, or you go to a new place, and it's like it's wonderful, it's beautiful. But at the same time, you look back, and you have a memory that is already better. Like, oh, but I also went to this place, and then suddenly you're in a weird place where you're like unconsciously without wanting to like compare and like have uh yeah, so like a certain emotion where you're like super satisfied but already have some nostalgia to like something back. Or I also like this from the latest album, Suburban Summer. That was actually came from like a discussion about summers as a teenager, where I kind of realized that everyone, or like most people, like I know, like when I talked about this, then as teenagers, they kind of thought like some like everyone else had a bit of a better summer. Those who went away with their parents thought like, ah, all the friends are staying home, they're doing something amazing, and those who stayed at home thought like, oh no, these people go away on an amazing holiday, and so it's a bit connected to like memories from like summers that are great, but again, also sometimes when you're like as a teenager, you might think like, it's not so good. Like even though like when you look back, it's like, fuck, this was an amazing summer. Like we were all at this beach and having like great experience, but while we were there, we were still maybe thinking like, yeah. So could be anything. And I'm a lot, I think, um, I have like like it's not very political, but what concerns me is actually is like I think I'm very concerned with, how can I say this, reality. I have a trouble with superstitions. So I think what comes off from this, so I don't deal well with like tarot reading or astrology and so on. Don't tell me
Yes,
because I know everyone likes it, or like almost everyone, but like I think
you
it could
prefer
be
the
problematic.
scientific explanation of the things.
Yes, so I think I'm a very like scientific person, but still, like the world is still beautiful and
Mhm.
magical, even when you look at it with like scientific and
Okay, you believe in the energy, and that's it. But the spiritual sides is not your thing. So it's more the earth, earthly, earthly, earthly part of the world that you like.
I think yeah, like I mean, I don't think we need to add something. We don't need to find something necessarily
Mhm.
behind, like, oh, what if is there like a
Okay.
certain energy or certain this or this? Like it can already, we know what life is in many ways, or like, and we don't have to
Yeah.
try to, and it's still like fascinating and strange and yeah.
Okay. And what about the composition, the technical part, the instrumental part of the songs? What do you want to tell about this? The working process.
So it depends. We have different processes because sometimes it might be like, for example, when I do music personally, I very often use a loop station to live loop my music and also to get some ideas down quickly. And so sometimes this might already be pretty advanced. I don't know, I might have like the bass played in, I might have like some chords, some melody line. So if we have that much, and when we present it to the band the first time and it's like, oh yeah, hey, that's nice, like let's go with it. And it can go pretty quickly. Of course, then afterwards it's always a matter of like fine-tuning some stuff. But then other songs, we work on it quite a bit because we don't necessarily all feel the same way about it. So we first need to like change and file on it until we manage to get to a version that everybody feels like is okay with. And that's what keeps it so interesting. And again, coming back to our different inspirations and how we grew up and how we learned music. For example, I really like to write down things. I'm like, okay, let's rehearse. We said this and this, so I want to write it down because next time when we meet, it's like, hey, look, we wrote this down. Like this is what we talked about. This is like we thought it about like this. Person A said this. Person B said this. We do this now 4 times, and then 2.5 times, and like this. And I like to write things down because then we stay much more productive. Because sometimes we also just like work on a song, and then we meet again, and we didn't write anything down, and then we just everything is different when we do it again for the second time, and it's like, but didn't we say something last time? It's like, ah, no, but now we feel like this. And that's a problem because on a good day you might feel good, on a bad day you might feel bad. And that's why now in the end we agreed upon me taking some notes generally for everybody, and then I come back to it when we work on it so that we don't forget what we said. And but yeah, anyway, it's like it's very relaxed ambience. I mean, it's a fun project. How do I say?
Yeah.
Of course.
And that's for the songwriting process. For the actual recording, then we went to, yeah, to different studios like Luxembourg, Malta, and Dortmund, and also like in Korea before. So like that was professional studios that's helpful. Like you have the song, you go there, you record like track by track. But our newest plan, I'm not sure if we're gonna do it in the end, but for this year, we're actually planning to maybe record at home and
Okay.
do everything ourselves. Because I had a vision of there's an amazing studio in Mexico that I tried to pitch this idea. Um, but like in the discussion, we found out like maybe we can try to do it ourselves.
Yeah, why not?
We're also
And
improving in like recording at home and
of course,
yeah.
today we with the new technology we have so many things, so many material we can use to record at home. So and a lot of people do that. So yeah, why not? And this gives you also some freedom to not hurry because
The freedom can be a problem. That's like because if you go to the studio, you record, that's kind of also how it is. And it
yeah.
can be very tempting when you're at home to really, I mean,
Yeah, but
even when I
I'm sure
write
that wouldn't
demos
be
at
an issue.
home, it can like
Sure, that would
really.
be an issue because you are very motivated in the end when it comes to this. Anyway, the mixing and mastering, in my opinion, if you make like a homebrew album or EP like this that we were thinking about, it would still have to be mixed and mastered, I would say, by a professional,
Mhm.
just to have it
Yes.
in the right format to bring it to the market. But like the actual work of the recording itself, I mean, we have most of the gear at home basically. Our drummer always complains about how he doesn't like the sounds of drum kits elsewhere. So how about we just use our own? I thought like so that problem is solved as well. And so I think this year we might indeed give it a shot, like not maybe a full album, but like we record like a small EP and see how it does, see how we do basically.
You also you already have some singles out. Did you already do a concert, a gig, a presentation in public? And what did, if yes, what did you feel about the public's reaction? Uh, you had a positive feeling. People liked it. What would a little bit the feedback of the people who listen to you to your music?
So we had the official release in summer, in July. And just like a couple of weeks before the album release, we released the single first, Got a Long Time. And
Okay.
it was received very well. It was also the first time that we tried to include some promotion in Germany. I think it was right, Eric.
Yeah. We worked with Pop-Up Records from Hamburg. So, like they put a bit out there, so like it ended up on radio stations in Germany, or like we have a review in like the Rolling Stone, stuff like this.
Wow, nice.
So that
That's
was
really
kind of nice. And then for the reception on live concerts, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of live concerts since summer. Winter was kind of calm. But the concerts that we played, like I remember the one in Germany, in Karlsruhe was right. That concert was amazing. It was a small bar, but it was packed, 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 and people were really, really celebrating our sound. So that was really nice to see. Very nice reception. And then, yeah, also here when we had like few concerts in Luxembourg, still friends and family, of course, it was well received. Um, Although we also get said that people looking forward to nice weather again to enjoy this music while sipping a cocktail on the terrace and not having to sit there all covered up in winter time.
It's also
yes.
tricky to say because like when as an indie band and we like to play live and you like we use a lot of opportunities to play live, then the situations are just very different. So we don't have the maybe the typical like 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 an indie venue tour or something, but we might
Mhm.
play at like one festival, then we play in some like indie club in some place, but then we played in Saarbrücken, for example. There was like an outside and people were sitting there in the summer next to a lake. So it's like
Yeah,
depending
like a
on
beer
the
garden. That
situations.
was like a beer garden.
Yeah, it varies a lot. But I think with the reaction we got for the album itself was pretty positive, and I especially liked I think what Raoul said, like because we're mixed and the songs are quite different. So like the main feedback I got was like that it's interesting to listen to. It doesn't feel like it's always the same. Like the songs are actually like they definitely sound like us, but they're different. Like they're different enough, so it's like yeah, it's interesting. It's not just like okay. one super particular style or mood, and then it just goes on and on.
And what about the next gigs, next events? Do you have concerts now that people can when watch you, and where, and all the informations about it, please?
Well, they're not out yet. I think I'm actually in the plans for like 6 gigs, but I think nothing is like fully confirmed yet. There's like
Okay.
a big like event called like Luga in Luxembourg in the summer that could be like 4 gigs connected, so like a bit of a festival in the north on like on a field. Then a little open air in Trier, and there's also a chance of maybe like playing support for another band, but yeah, it's we'll have to see.
I hope I will be there in summer in June
Yeah.
for the National Day. So I
Yeah,
hope
Duke's
I
Day.
can see you guys.
Yeah,
Please.
last year we played in Duke's Day. We also normally play in Fête de la Musique in
Yeah.
Boulogne,
Nice.
in Luxembourg City. It depends. Like for big events, we might play on ING Marathon. Like right now, it's a little slower. You know how it is. Winter in Luxembourg, there's not that many outside activities.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, we played already in Rocas as well. We might play another time there. It's not sure yet. We also tried to play where we haven't played yet, not to return too many times to the same spot. We are in the talks with Goodeville, and we're looking a bit around the usual suspect spots in Luxembourg. Yeah.
Yeah. Really nice. Kuduvelen is also a great venue. I didn't go there since such a long time. Rocas is always the place I go when I go to Luxembourg. I
Good
have to
starting
go
point.
there once, even if it's just for a drink. But yeah. Thank you very much. And also, where can we find you? You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Spotify. Can
We have a
people find
great
you
name that is very
everywhere?
easy to find. Like if you look for
Oh,
Sun Smash Palace, there's no other band with that name. You will get our main outlet is actually, I think,
Instagram.
Instagram for like news and kind of like bit of photos and updates and so on. And apart from this, yeah.
On
yes, I will
Listen on
put.
all streaming
Spotify, listen on
platforms.
Deezer, listen on Apple Music.
I will put the links for all your pages, for your Spotify, for your YouTube, for everything about the band. I will put all the links here in the description of this video. So people have just to go to the link and do follow. Please follow Sun Smash Palace because it's really good. If you never listen to them, you have to listen. You have to have a listen.
I
It's
agree.
you
I
don't
agree.
have a choice. You
Yeah.
have to go there. You have to follow the page, support the band, and also if you follow the pages of the band, every time the band has a concert or an event or something going on, or a release, a new single, new album, all the information will be found there. So follow the page, follow Sun Smash Palace. Is there something you want to add that I forgot to ask or that is important for you?
Yes.
Okay,
Is
go ahead.
one time like I have a Brazilian friend in Lisbon, and I was like we were discussing like playing in Portugal, but then it's kind of like faded out. I need ideas. I want to play in Portugal.
Oh, great.
People
So
send me ideas. Huh?
Here in Porto for this kind of music, the Heart Club is one of the best places, I think. You can also try to contact Mausavich. I will send you the stuff. Barracuda also is really nice. So the Quinces band, the band I interviewed
Yeah.
last week, played there last week. So it's a very special place. They receive very special bands with styles that you never heard anywhere before. So It's really nice, and they have their usual clients already, so their usual customers. They exist since a very long time.
Forever.
Yeah. So yeah, the Hard Rock Cafe in Porto too. In Lisbon, I don't know so much because I live in Porto. So, but I think in Lisbon you also have the Hard Rock Cafe, and yeah, I will try to check, and I will send you some some places where the music can where the public likes this kind of music, and also
Yeah,
pages from festivals like Parede de Coura, Primavera Sound, and this kind of Primavera Sound would be a really nice festival for you. Also, so because they receive a lot of indie rock bands. Um, they had PG Harvey last year, so so yeah. So I will send you stuff, and I would be so happy to see you here in Portugal, and so proud to see a Luxembourgish band like you guys playing here. I will be there for sure, even if it's in Lisbon. I go there just to watch the band, no problem. um okay, now I always ask the musicians that I interview, if there are some guys or some people who come to you and say, I want to create my music, I want to release my own songs and have my own projects. What would you advise to the people who want to start uh, to to write their songs, and who want
Just
to
start.
start their project?
Just start with it. Don't procrastinate. Don't be like, but I still need to do this first. I need to learn this scale. I need to understand this harmonic move. But like, no, just sit on the piano, on the guitar, whatever you used to do music, play music. If you sing, then just take out the booklet and start writing stuff down. Just produce. Be creative. Just let it flow. Because if you are just there and you're like, oh no, I really want to do this now, it's like, no, just go on a walk and just like see what ideas pop in and just try to somehow express them. Like, don't be too harsh on yourself. Like, try the first time, it's not what you were looking for. Try the second time, well, we're getting closer. Third time, still not there, but by the sixth or seventh time, you will have what you were looking for, and you're going to be proud about what you achieved as well. So
yeah.
that's how I approach it.
And if you want to do something, there's always like certain areas where you like that you're more interested in or where you will be better, and just find people for the other stuff. Or like if you have songs that you like, and maybe you can find someone else who likes it, or like it can be so like it can be such a variety. There's also some people that make music, but they almost care maybe more about drawing and making the covers and so on. So like you don't have to decide on like, oh, it has to be like this or this. You can just like, I don't know, people they released one song and like, and they spend like ages on it, and others like, yeah, like, and what I would recommend is like I waited too long. Like I record music at home now, and when you've never done it, it seems like a big, can seem like a big thing or like a big obstacle, but it's really not. You can get like a basic setup for a couple €100. You plug in your guitar and like a MIDI keyboard, and you can like, and it's lots of fun. You can just like start away, and if you start recording your ideas, you can present them, and then you can see if some people want to join. And some people also like to do stuff by themselves, but I like, when it's connected, and there's always like a singer out there or another guitarist or someone, and you will find them eventually. But then you have to show the music or be around.
Or if you want, also, I always tell the people, if you want to meet musicians and people who are perhaps interested to work with you, the jam sessions
Yeah.
is really one of the best ways. Even here in Portugal, not only in Luxembourg, the jam sessions is always the place where the musicians meet, where you can find people who like what you do and are interested to work with you. And yeah, so I put a lot of importance to the jam sessions. I think it's always a good place also to show your songs and to see a bit the reaction of the people, and it's really nice. So how you will have an event this Sunday?
This Thursday, I'm going to host the Jam in Rockers, and this Sunday, I'm also going to host a dance jam, which will be 2 hours of improvised music and then contact improvisation dance on top.
And where will it be?
That's going to be in Luxembourg City in Aero Yoga Loft Studio in the area of Fort Wallis, so very close to the central station. And yeah, Rockers, I think people that are interested in going, they know where to find. It's close to Badenstadt, in the city center of Luxembourg, very known independent bar, alternative bar. So that's what's coming up for myself personally this week. Yes.
Okay, nice. And do people have to pay some entry for
No,
the
it's all free of charge. It's all free entrance.
Okay,
So if
nice.
people are curious to come take a look, because also contact improvisation, it's pretty hard to imagine what it's about. So it's also no problem to just like jump in, have a quick look of the situation, if it's something for you, yes or no, participate, get a little introduction, and then yeah, it's all free of charge.
And at what time does it start? Sorry.
Starts at, let me verify, this from 3 till 6.
Okay, nice. So if you are interested, go there and have some fun with the people. And are there other projects where you are part of and you want to talk a little bit about it? You can do it. You are free to. Eric, I don't know if you are also in other projects.
I have but another one is more for fun. Sunsmash Palace is the important one. But
okay.
Raoul has a nice project called Loop Soup.
Yeah, Loop Soup, I'm hosting the Jam and Rockers with Loop Soup. So it's my partner in Vanessa on the guitar, voice, and loop station, and I will be playing on piano, synthesizers, and clarinet, also with the loop station. So now we expanded a bit our setup. So now I actually use 2 loop stations, which gives us much more freedom for live performing. Unfortunately, we do not have an online presence yet. Otherwise, I would love to share a profile. But if you want to experience Loop Soup, I can only just recommend to come to the jams. As you say, we are a live project. We didn't go through the trouble of recording yet, although we definitely should. Actually, Eric, he started recording us. we have not been serious about it yet, but we have started. It's in the baby shoes. But yeah, definitely keep your eyes open for Loop Soup jams. They're always nice.
Great. So don't forget that we can also do another interview also dedicated to this project. So
Sure.
Every time you have something new, every time you have news or other projects, please don't hesitate to share. We can talk about it in the podcast. I would be very glad to receive you to speak about other projects too. And for all the other musicians, all the other people who want to have an interview like Sunsmash Palace and all the other guests that I received until today, you can send an email with your press releases, with your EPKs to jessicatalkpod@gmail.com, or you can also send a message through the Instagram page, a private message, or the Facebook page. That also works. And then we try to find an appointment and date for the interview, and we can talk about your projects. Don't forget also, for all the people, I repeat again, for all the people who want to support the podcast, the best way to support it is to like the videos, to subscribe to the page. You also can activate the notification bell so you can always receive a notification every time there is a new episode. And I also have a TP account, so it's written TIP 3Es, for, and also a PayPal account of the podcast for all the people who want to give a little donation. There is no amount, and you don't have to subscribe for every month. It's really just for people who want to support the podcast financially, and this gives me the opportunity to buy some material to improve a little bit the quality of the podcast, and it's also a little bit, yes, to support the work I do, but it's not an obligation. It's only for the people who really want to support the podcast financially and do a little donation. There is no amount. You, even if you just give €1, I'm always grateful for all the help. So you can find the podcast on TP, or you can also find the podcast on PayPal, searching with jessicatalkpod at gmail.com. For all the ones who don't want to support financially, it's also okay. If you listen to the podcast, if you put a like, if you share with all your friends the podcast and the videos, you are not only supporting the podcast, but you are also supporting all the musicians that are interviewed and all the bands, and making discover new bands and new people and great projects and great music. And so it keeps the music alive, and it connects us. It makes that music grows, and so supporting the podcast, you are also supporting the artists and the music. So do not hesitate. Like the videos, like the pages of the musicians. Go to all the links I will put here of Sun Smash Palace, and follow them, listen to their music. You will not regret, for sure. I can assure you, you will really not regret to listen to their music, and you will enjoy it very much, because you guys said, it's, and we feel, when we listen to the songs, we really feel that you have fun, and really, guys, that it's really a pleasure. It's a pleasure for you, it's a pleasure also for us. And yes, so support also the bands, the musicians, and the Luxembourgish music scene. So it's really important. Support the music of your country. And thank you very much that you were here. That I was very happy to talk about the project. I was really happy to meet you guys. And we see each other when I come to Luxembourg, for sure. I will be at the jam session
On Thursday, yes.
and yes, so we see us very soon. Next week, I will have a very, very special guest. It's a musician from Portugal. His name is Slimy, and he's celebrating like 25 years career. And when I discovered him, I was still living in Luxembourg. His music was played in every radio. Also in the Portuguese, the songs are, he has also an indie style. So, and the songs are in English. So the music was played also in international radios. He was at the top 10. He was on the three first, on the top of Antena 3, that it's a big national radio. He's very renowned. He's coming. He was a little bit. He stopped a little bit to do other stuff, but now he's coming back, and he's doing new stuff. He's releasing a new single for the celebration of his career. And I will be very glad to have Paulo Slimy with me next week. So don't miss don't miss it. It will be in Portuguese, but don't forget, for the people who don't understand Portuguese, you can activate the subtitles in another language in the settings of the video. And yes, and Paulo here in Porto for us is a little bit like the David Bowie from Portugal. So so
Should be a nice
so
interview then.
he's very, very special. He's very his music is great. And yes, so don't miss the interview. I am very happy to receive him. And thank you, guys. I wish you all the best. I wish you a lot of success because you really deserve it. And I will follow also your work to be a little bit a part of what you do and what's happening with you. And I wish all the people a great, great weekend, and we see us on next week. Bye.
Perfect. Thank you.